And what you'll notice is once we do our final separation, we're doing a slow spiral. And just like throwing a football, if you spiral your football, it will send you in a straight path. So that's what we do with the spacecraft. These solar panels that you see are part of the cruise stage, which is the navigation system that will get our rover to Mars at the correct day and location that we have programmed, so it's very important. And about 8.5 months later, we finally reach Mars. We will separate from that cruise stage and start to enter through the atmosphere. Now we're traveling very fast, approximately 13,000 miles per hour. So this part right here is called the heat shield. And that, of course, will deflect the heat that we will encounter, which will be about 7,000 degrees. So it has a very important job because we don't want a roasted rover. So as we go through, we're actually at an angle to help slow us down. And you might have seen these little weights that fell off of the capsule. You'll see another set in just a second. Once we get through the burn, we'll release that second set of weights. You'll see right here. There we go. That just helps change the orientation of the capsule so that we're coming in straight. We then use a fireworks cannon to deploy our parachute. And we're traveling still about 1,000 miles per hour at this point. So tucked up in that capsule, you see the rover. It's in its stowed position, which means the wheels are tucked up to its body. And in just a moment, you'll see rocket motors ignite. And essentially what you're looking at is, imagine a jetpack that is straddling on top of the rover. It is helping to slow us down. At the same time, it's sending radar to the ground to make sure that we are landing in the correct spot that we have identified. And as Allison mentioned, we're going to Gale Crater. So it has a very important task at hand. Now, right here is a camera on board that will be videoing our landing, our descent. So that way we can go back and look to see what it looks like later on of how it appears to go down to the surface of Mars. Once we're at the correct altitude and location, we lower the rover down using a bridle or cables. And the rover is in constant communication with that jetpack, which is called the descent stage, through this orange cable right here. And essentially, the rover saying, once I touch my wheels on the ground, I'm going to cut those cables, and that jetpack will fly away. It will not have enough propellant to get back out into space, so the only thing it can do is crash back down onto the surface, but far enough away from the rover so that it does not damage it. Now, Spirit and Opportunity had those airbags that had to deflate, and then it took time to open up the pedals and unfold the rover. This landing style, as tricky as it looks, is actually much faster for us in terms of getting the rover up and running. You essentially just have to stand the mast up, which is the neck and head portion of the rover, and it can start operating. One unique instrument on board that we have here is a high-powered laser. And we will use this laser to fire at various objects. Essentially what happens is it will fire several times. The first couple of shots are to kind of blow off the surface dust. You really want to get down into the rock. If we find something of interest, we will then use our robotic arm to then drill into that sample or into that rock. We can then collect a sample and deposit it inside of the rover, where it will do the different chemical analysis for us. So using that laser is very helpful because we have a limited amount of slides or spots that we can fill the samples into. So by using that laser, you can really identify, is this something that we truly want to take a sample of, or have we seen this before, and perhaps we can just bypass it. The primary mission for this rover is 2 years, but as I already mentioned with Spirit and Opportunity, they are expected to last only 90 days, and they've far exceeded those expectations. So we anticipate this rover lasting a lot longer than that. Right now, this is just showing you the chemical analysis process. It does take several hours to complete, so it's not a quick process by any means. In fact, the rover's speed is only 1 to 2 inches per second, so it is pretty slow. Any questions?